Hey everyone, it's good to see you on Tuesday Toots yet again. We are here. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a crazy start to the week. There's been a lot of things to catch up on, things to do. My day job is also busy, and so it was a Monday, as you can probably imagine. And I hope you guys are staying busy and productive and things are going on as well. I'm also knitting wire on the side, which is quite crazy. I can't believe I'm actually doing it, I think is the crazy part, which is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time and have that creative freedom to be able to do it. Hey folks, I'm gonna go ahead and give a quick shout out to some of our friends here. Julie is here. I saw a few more people popped on, so I'm sorry if I missed you. Maggie is here, Mimi. Teresa just popped on, and Gretchen. So hello ladies, and as you all know, Teresa is my brand ambassador officially, and any questions you guys have, or I couldn't even think of a better welcome committee, to be honest, than Teresa. Such a sweet lady. So I can't believe, and I'm so excited how she's going to be a great thing for SilverSilk. So Sylvia, hello from Omaha. So knitting wire is definitely tricky. I've learned quite a few things about wire that I had no idea existed, because it was just something that I never would have considered. And so in working with it more, I've noticed that some wires are definitely a lot easier to knit with than others, and I think it's just based on how it's enameled and coated. And so I'm obsessed and have been over the dark rose, which is what we're going to use tonight. But for those of you who don't know, wire spools come on a bulk spool like this. This is a 5-pound bulk spool that goes into my knit machine, and then it comes out as a beautiful little product. Of course, it also has a ball chain, which I have right here. So these two things, it's super fascinating to watch it, and just so happens that this is one of the easier ones to knit, and there are 5 sets of calibrations that have to work in sync together to be able to knit wire and come out correctly without breaking. And so when I'm doing this, it's really good quality control. I'm able to see exactly what's coming out and package it right then and there and make sure that you guys get something that is 100% approved by me. Thanks, Todd. He's loving the color. Hello, Suzanne. So, and with tonight, I thought we could pick up the dark rose color and do a project or several with them. I'm also going to talk through some new colors that I just produced and now are online. And then I have a new kit coming out that I was deciding to not do a kit and just focus on inventory for now, but my brain goes all over the place because that's just how creative people are, I think. But the inventory is going smooth, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to package up some kits. I'm gonna do some kits for August, and this will be a new theme that is gonna be called Amazon Rainforest, and one of the colors that I'll be talking about tonight is included with that kit that's coming up. And I listened to you guys because I asked everyone what their thoughts and opinions were for some of the kits that I've been doing, and you guys want to see more charms and pendants and stuff like that rather than maybe some of the same beads and stuff that are in the other kits, as well as some of the ones that are out there by some of our other friends in the industry. So I'm going to try and diversify as much as possible and get more findings in my kits and more chains, certainly, because that's the central point of my company. And definitely get some charms in there and stuff that represents to me what would be the Amazon rainforest. So I think this will be a really good kit. It'll have 3 different colors of knit wire chain in there, and then 2 of the colors will not be available online at all. So it'll be 2 custom colors plus a color that is online. So I'm gonna start yammering at the camera. I'm gonna turn it around. Hey, Deb. Let me see if I can do this efficiently. There we go. And I want to talk through some of the new colors before I get to tonight's project. So I was saying earlier that knitted wire can be tricky to create depending on the wire color. I was able to make some silver for those of you who really need it. The problem here is that I was only able to make 4 successful units, which doesn't really equal much at all. So, and one of them has already sold. So I really just have 3 of these left, you guys. And this one was a very difficult wire to work with, but fear not, I do have a plan set in place for knitting with this wire later on. And so I think I just need to kind of work with it a little bit more and kind of get my focus back on it. So this particular spool was very frustrating, just because it wasn't coming out correctly. The knitting needles were missing the wire, so it would kind of screw up everything else that was coming out. And so again, I was able to come up with a few very small number of units there, but for those of you who need it, it's online. I was having the same issue with gold, but I was able to get more out of it. As it turns out, I just have to work the machine at a slower speed, which is unfortunate because it can take a very long time to knit this type of wire, or these 2 colors specifically. These other colors actually I was able to make very quickly, but for some reason the gold and silver wire are very hard in its metal property, and so that can kind of delay production. And so again, trying to think of a clever solution for those as I'm moving along, but what you guys really wanted to see was more color anyway, and so the silver and gold will always be there, but I'm going to continue to work on the easier ones as we come along with our inventory. So this one's a new color that I produced, and it is called River. It is sort of a darker navy blue color over silver, so you could see that it really sparkles, and it does highlight and give out a lot of that blue because it's against the silver background. The color that I had previous to this storm, which I'm running low of because everyone's been ordering it, which is great. I just need to make more, but I'm waiting on a ball chain order to come in before I can start knitting again. That one is very dark and mysterious, and this one's very light, and I think it's glittery. It catches, the silver ball catches the light so brilliantly and really highlights that blue. So I love this color. Again, it'll be in a kit that's going to be later in this month with 2 other colors that are surprise colors that won't be available online. So you can look forward to that. And then I've got another color called Amethyst, and I've not had this color in the couple of years that I've had SilverSilk. I know it's been there in the past, but I haven't seen it in very, very long time. So I'm excited to have this color back and in production, and it's gonna come with a different color ball chain as well later down the road. This one happens to be the amethyst colored parawire against silver ball chain. So you're seeing a very light purple color, very amethyst, if you will. And I'm going to create another color purple that is actually a shade or 2 darker than this, called Plum. That one's in the works currently. Won't be available till next Tuesday Toots, because I always have to have some more colors now. Now that I can knit wire, I can have colors every week, hopefully. Or give you guys at least something to salivate over, because I have been loving these colors and just want to eat them up. They're so pretty. So those are all available online now. You can grab these at silversilkonline.com. And speaking of, my next topic is give me those free copper crystal end caps, because I was going to use it on tonight's project. I was going to work these 3 colors together into a project, and I was like, you know what, I have, where did I put it? Here it is. I have some copper crystal end caps. These have been pretty popular, actually. I love them. They are the pewter triple strand end caps that have a glittery surface to them. This is crystallized, if you will. And I was like, you know what, a great promotion for this week would be if I gave a pair of these away for free if you have 3 chains. It can be any color. It does not have to be this color scheme that I'm using today. It could be any 3 capture chains, or you can have a purchase of $35 or over in your cart and use the code Copper Crystal during checkout, and that will basically notify me. You'll get a penny discount. But that's kind of the funny thing about discounts. I don't know how they work online. But what I did do was put a note on it, letting me know to include a free set of these for you guys in your shipment. So that is going to be an exciting little promotion. And then I thought I could dabble into some Softflix craft wire. This is antique copper. Perfect for this color scheme. Which happens to be the dark rose. I'm going to go ahead and take this out while we're talking about it. Dark rose, the shimmering copper. Hey, Sylvia's on here too. I read earlier that you got your order in either today or yesterday, and that you're loving the new colors. So I'm so delighted that you ordered those and that you're loving them, and I can't wait to see what you do with them. Please definitely do post to the Silkies group whatever you guys make, and we just want to be inspired and creative and make some fun things together. Oh, hey Kristen, I didn't see that you popped on. I'm so glad you're here. Linda's here as well, and Robin, so we got all our friends here. So this is the color scheme that I'm working with tonight, and yeah, the end cap is going to work really well with that. So I was looking into my Jesse James bead stash because y'all know, and I'm not the only one, okay, that has a giant stash of beads at home and needs something to do with them. So I started gathering up all of my coppery pink colors because I was in a pink mood. I don't know why but I was in a pink mood. And I normally don't dabble into the pinks because it's not my color. But today I was, because I really do like these soft pinks with the copper, and I think it's going to match really well. I thought about using this rose, in fact, with this antique copper chain to do a quick little wrapped something or another. And I don't know, maybe do a triple strand necklace, and then I've got some other chain out set to the side to maybe do a pair of earrings to match. I was looking at this bead strand, and I really love this boho bead because it's very soft and it's got copper in with the metal. And so I thought that was going to be a really nice complement to this shimmering copper. So I might find something to do with that as well. So yeah, I've got kind of like beads out all over the table, and it's kind of stressing me out, to be honest, because I'm usually a pretty compulsive neat freak. I don't know if you guys are, but I am. I like to have things in containers and stuff, so especially while it's on my table, so I can kind of see everything. So let me just clean up a bit here, get some stuff out of the way. So I thought I would sketch something out and then get to work for you guys. And I'm going to pull my camera down so I could read the comments while you guys are chit-chatting. I'll leave that promotional up there in the corner just so you guys know what's going on. But I do want to chat with you because this is not a video that's intended to be purely tutorial, although it will be purely tutorial by the time I get it edited down on the YouTube. But this is me hanging out with you guys, so I want to know what's going on in your lives. Kind of told you what's been going on with mine, with all the work that's been going on, and I hope you guys had a good 4th of July weekend. Mine was truly uneventful this year. I didn't go hang out with my family because they were out of town. My friends had stuff going on, so I just kind of had a lot of time knitting with my wire. As weird as that sounds. I mean, it was bringing me pure joy, which, you know, we all have to have time off from work, but I kind of enjoyed it too much. Todd says, working with the bling end caps. Definitely. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? So I think what I can do, I'm going to take this rose, and I'm just going to sketch out here to the side. And what I'm thinking is that would make a lovely focal piece in itself for something that's asymmetrical. What I want to do with the wire is, I've used this technique before in a Jesse James bead video a long time ago, but I kind of want to repurpose it for this. And what I'm going to do is do a messy wrap around it. What that will help with is also keeping this rose, because it's got a very rounded bottom side here. It tends to roll around a lot and not very sturdy. And so I think this technique will help to keep it nice and flat. But we'll attach it to either some jump rings or something, and then bring out our triple strand end caps here. Get that nice sparkle going. And then I think I'm going to just do a triple stack of my chains. I just love the colors. I think that they'll stand out pretty well on their own, and I think tonight's lesson is about simplicity and doing one or two things to create something really stunning and very wearable. Someone had asked, let's see, let me back up here. Mimi is asking, are you back at the office or still working from home? That's a good question, Mimi. Actually, I am working from home permanently now, and my office decided that they would, because it's such a big office, the Hogan building. It's really big, and a lot of folks that work there had life changes, whether it's planning around their family or they're uncomfortable with going out in public, the masks and everything. So beyond that life change, they realized how important it is to have the employee as comfortable as possible and maintaining still the workflow, which people can do at home now. And lucky for us, a lot of our business can be done remotely. So they decided to implement a policy where we can work at home on a permanent basis and come into the office when we need to. So I've actually been very safe working from home, knitting, after hours and on the weekends, and then working the day job in my little studio office here. So it's been a really lovely balance of things, and it's been great for my lifestyle, I think, particularly just because I'm not really the most social person that people will say, I guess. Well, people might say different, but I'm not very social, except for maybe you guys here on Facebook. But for me, just the social interactions and stuff kind of takes a toll as an introvert. And so I like to just kind of spend as much quiet time as possible. And because my job is so creative based, it's required for me to have that quiet time. Let's see, Kathleen, and replying Joan, you got a conversation started, but I didn't even see what you said because I've been babbling. Okay, so I'm going to take some more capture chain. I'm going to create a little loop for the earring, and then probably use a similar technique down here for a smaller rose, because I have these on this strand here. And then I did want to extract those beads and maybe bring those down as well. So they'll be quite possibly larger earrings, but I think it'll be really cool. So let's do that. As for a bracelet, it hasn't hit me yet, but maybe once I start to create some of this other stuff, it'll stack up pretty well. And I'll, create something out of that, or bracelet, if I decide to. Okay, let's get started. I want to keep my rose out because that's where I want to start first. And as I said earlier, I'm going to use this craft wire from Softflex, which is the antique copper in 18 gauge. It's super thick, which is great. Going to be a real standout, I think. And Joan says, I never thought you were an introvert, Neely. It's so true. I actually love a lot of quiet time at home lately. I'm going to grab my tools. They're here on the side. And I want to cut, let's see, maybe about 18 inches, I think should do just fine. Maybe less, I think 15 to 18 inches. Go. Just trim it off with some Zoran pliers or whatever you've got at home. Do not mix your pliers up, because I did that the other week and used my cutters for thread, and that was an awful idea. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is create a simple loop on both ends of this rose. That'll get me something to connect my end caps with. So let's do this. Let's bring out our pair of round nose pliers. These are bell making pliers. I actually grabbed these from Softflex as well. And they are so handy to have in your toolkit. And it's great because you can measure out the size of the loop that you want to create. And for this rose particularly, I think I want to create something that's about 6 millimeters. So I'll hit up that 6 mark and just wrap around there. And I want to go ahead and wrap all the way around, make myself what I call a crisscrossed P-shaped loop, which looks like that. And the letter P is, right here. So it's offset on one side. And then I'm going to grab a pair of chain nose pliers. When you do this, you want to make sure, because I want to make a wrap loop this first time around, I'm just going to have 1.5 inches to 2 inches out of extra wire. But what I want to do is what I call break the neck, which is taking my P-shaped loop, which I have now downward facing, and I'm going to just give a gentle twist. And you see how my P shape is no longer a P, but now it is a round loop. That is what we're looking for, my friends. And so I'll basically place it back inside the pliers and get my 2 pieces of wire there as perpendicular as I can, just like that. So I just lifted this back up, and now what I can do is rotate this wire and coil it around this base wire. And that will give me a very good looking loop, wire wrapped loop. Very easy. I want to do this maybe, let's do 3 times. And don't forget to go slow. I prefer to, just because it allows me to make sure that my loops are very precise. So now what I'll do is I'll grab my cutters, just go ahead and trim it off. I tend to trim at an angle, as you can see. What it does is it tapers the wire, and that way I can go ahead and just kind of press it in, and it's not going to poke anybody. If you cut it blunt, it's okay too. The taper just seems to be an easier way to tuck that wire end in. And you can go on the backside and just kind of tighten these loops if you want to. But overall, I think that looks really good. Hey, Kathleen, I didn't see that you popped on, so I'm glad you're here. All right, this is great because you can see how much it sticks up, which is going to be great for my next coiling process, or the next step for that. But first, I want to go ahead and match the loop that I made on this side. And to do that, I'll basically go ahead and string this back on, or put it back on my plier here. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap around like earlier. You may have to lift off of your pliers and kind of stick it back in. But same process from earlier. You'll just give yourself a nice little P-shaped loop, and then where the wire crosses, that's where you'll break the neck. And then stick it back into your pliers at the 6. And then fold in to make sure that your wire is perpendicular to your stem. And then you'll wrap that around. I'm working with a longer piece of wire, so it's a little bit awkward, admittingly, but that's okay. We're just gonna wrap it a couple times, as best as we can here. Whoops. If it gets out of shape, which mine did, what I do is I just stick it back into the pliers and massage it kind of back and forth. It is soft wire, craft wire, so you'll notice that it goes into shape very easily, and you can definitely continue to massage it out and get it even rounder than what I have it just by sticking it into your pliers. So very easy to do. Don't ever think you've messed up. And it's wire at the end of the day. If you did mess up, just cut it off and, use a new piece. It's always easy to do. You can do it. Cool. So now I'm just gonna create a large, messy loop here behind the rose. So I'm gonna start to go in a little tight just to make sure that my rose is nice and stable. And then what I'll do is I'll start to expand out kind of give a little bend in the wire if you want to, and you could definitely just keep it floating if you wanted to. I think I like it like that, in fact, and kind of looks like a little scribble, if you will. But just add some easy drama to my rose. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and tuck this back in once I've kind of played around with this and see what I like. If I don't love it, I can definitely undo this and, you know, kind of continue to play with it until it works the way that I want it to. But again, just a very fun wrap that doesn't really need to make a whole lot of sense. I think it just looks kind of cool, and sometimes that's perfectly okay. Oh, Trisha says a little nest. That's so true. What I'll do is I'm going to attempt to actually do a little loop that might try and work itself back around around my loop there at the top. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of take it out and I'll go into a smaller section of my pliers. This is just below the 2 millimeter mark. Give myself a P shape just like that. And now what I can do is connect it down here. So what I'm thinking is that I can lift this open. Maybe. And yep, close it there. Looks good to me. You can push it back down into your design if you don't want to see it. That's totally up to you guys. For me, it doesn't truly bother me all that much. I think I kind of like that. That looks really good to me. So now what I'll do is set it out here to the side because that component is finished. So now I can start to connect the rest of my design together. I love how there's some space between my rose and my chain, my end cap here. I think it just gives a little bit more focus to the focal, which is the rose there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is actually move that over to the side and then bring out my design out here, in fact. I think it looks better against the wood. For some reason, I feel like the white's washing this out. Okay, so now we gotta figure out what our necklace is gonna look like and how we want it to stack up. So, endless color combinations, of course. I think you could use probably all of this together and just have no clasp, and then that way you could wear it as I pictured it here, where it's sort of asymmetrical and off-center. You could definitely drag the rose down to the center and just wear it there. So that might be kind of a fun take on this design. And you know me, I'm all about the no clasp if I can avoid it. Sometimes it's just easy to throw stuff on and, you know, be on out the door. All right, how do we want this to stack up? I kind of like this idea of light to dark. Of course, we could also go the other way, from dark to light. Or we could have it in the middle. Oh man, there's so many ways to do this. You know, I kind of don't hate this. I like that the rose is in the middle. It kind of adds another cool line to this. Really, truly, a lot of ways to do this. You know what, I do like that. I'm gonna commit to this. Okay, let me take this out of the way for now. Joan says, I love the 3 shades that you're using together. And Terry was asking, which are these colors that I'm using? That's a good question. I'm using the metallic copper, which is a copper color over a gunmetal ball chain. You could see that the knit is so much bigger, so you could see that ball chain a lot better. This was something that was not available with the previous type of SilverSilk that I was selling. And this is purely my creative control over the wire. This one is dark rose, which is antique copper ball chain, which is knitted, or it has a knitted sleeve of magenta over it. So that's really pretty. And then we've got shimmering copper, which is bright copper wire over silver ball chain. Gorgeous color combination. I mean, really works well with the rose that from Jesse James beads and some of the other beads that I wanted to look at as well. Now the question is, do I want to use all of this up? Because I love and hoard all the capture chains. And I don't think my necklace needs to be too big. So I might actually trim it down just a smidge, and then maybe I might use the rest of it for something else. So what I need to do is open up my end cap a little bit more to accommodate those chains. There we go. Have it nice and wide now. I want to make sure and pinch my ends in so that the wire is really formed around the last of the ball chain, and then you basically just slip it in. Whoops. Triple strands tend to be a little tricky because you have to hold everything at once while you're crimping it, and so it could get a little bit tedious, I think it would be the right word, but it's definitely worth it. And especially if you can figure out a way to hold everything together, super great. There we go. Okay, so far everything's holding. I'm just gonna take a pair of nylon drop pliers and I'm going to carefully press to crimp. You want to make sure that your seam here is sealed all the way whenever you do crimp it, but otherwise you don't need any glue or special tools. I love that it has a SilverSilk mark on the back, you guys. Ugh, my branding is on brand. Okay, so that's all you need. You don't need any special tools or glue or anything to make that work, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so now that I have my triple stack here, I was thinking about making a bunch of pre-packaged triple strand type of packaging. That was very redundant. Let me back up. I think what I'm going to do is make, you know how Softflex has triples and duos and color combinations? Well, I kind of foresee the same thing for SilverSilk here. And so what I was thinking about calling it was a triple stack, kind of like pancakes, because I love pancakes, but that's also not really the point. I really just think that it would be useful for the customer to have some pre-designated colors that go together. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. I love how this is turning out already. Okay, so it looks like I could probably save some of my chain. Now, if I'm doing this as I'm gonna back my camera out here. I see the laughy faces. I really do like pancakes, and I think triple stack would be a fun name. I think what I can do is keep this asymmetry, just like that. But what I can do is possibly, I'm gonna back up really a lot here because this is gonna be a longer necklace. So if I can get up as well. There we go. What I think I could do is layer this in such a way that might have some extra length here at the bottom. So that way I have some extra drama. Something that maybe stacks like that, so that whenever you wear it, you have a really great layered design here down at the bottom, and then you have a little focal here at the top that I think all works together magically. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take my jacket off to do this. It's a little warm in here. Okay, so now we have to get a length that I think I'm gonna be comfortable with. So let's do this. And I tend to eyeball things without measuring, which is probably always a bad idea. I think from a comfortable standpoint here, we can probably do this length here, which is about a foot off of your most inner chain. So again, this will stack at the bottom and have a little bit of space between each of the strands, and then it'll have this beautiful clasp here at the bottom, on the side here. I'm gonna cut that first. There we go. And it looks like I still need to back away even more so that you guys can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, and then if I have my beautiful dark rose. Oops, there's some stuff fuzzy on there. As my next layered strand, maybe do that. If you're really, really picky about how you want to layer it, you could definitely grab a ruler and, you know, chop off, or actually add on, I guess, an inch on each side. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll just drag this up so it'll be easier for you guys to see. There we go. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. This is gonna work out really well. I mean, look at that. So pretty. It's so elegant, the way that this is all gonna stack together. And I do have a little neck that I could put it on and show you guys after the video. Hey, Nancy from Pennsylvania. Sarah's loving the wood background. Yeah, it's so much better than the white that I had earlier, which is doing something funny to the light. But the wood is actually my table that I built. I did build this table with my own two hands, and it's really cool, actually. It's got piping, steel at the bottom, because I was really into that for a while. And yeah, I've used this table for everything, so I definitely am not going to let it go for anything. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up as we did before and stick my capture chain in. Again, the pattern to this does matter because I've established it there at the top, and I want to make sure that everything is nice and symmetrical on this side. So I'll just stick those in, carefully holding it all in place. Right now my fingers are covering what, there we go. Again, triple strand end caps tend to be a little tricky to hold, but once you can get a crimp down, there we go. You can, definitely do it from there. Again, checking to make sure that the seam is closed and then give a good tug. What I do love is this larger chain, ball chain that we're using, or actually that I'm using in my capture chain now, holds a lot better in the crimps than the smaller one did before. So this was a really good advantage for switching over. Okay, so now I just gotta connect my rose to, pull this down, to my side there. But isn't that just beautiful? Okay, so what do I need? I need some, I just need some of these. Little jump rings. There's not a bunch of copper jump rings. I don't even know where these ones came from, actually. I'm trying to like use up old stuff because I have my good stuff, which is the SilverSilk branded stuff that I tend to not use, but I do sell. And the only reason I don't use it is because it's too nice for me to use, is how I feel. It's probably not true. I should be using it, but I don't know, I feel kind of guilty because I'm like, my customers would enjoy it better than I would. Okay, I'm not going to use my fingernail. I'm going to use a proper pair of pliers to close my jump ring. And again, end to end, bring it in. There we go. And same thing on this side. But you could see that my design is staying flat. And a reason for that is that my end caps, I didn't want them to twist and turn. And so it was a little bit of problem solving, I think, to make sure that that will stay put. And I think that the twist and turn of that wire made it work to stay flat. But there we go. That is my necklace that you can throw on, and it is automatically layered here at the bottom. I think it's really pretty. I wish I could show you guys all on camera what it looks like. It's really hard to do with this longer type of length. Oh, there we go. Maybe I could do it this way. Again, it is asymmetrical, so let's pull this up to the side. I think that'd be really fun to wear. And it took no time at all to put it together. But don't forget, this is also part of a deal that if you grab 3 capture chains or have an order of 35 or over, type in the code copper crystal, at checkout, and you get a free pair of these copper crystal end caps. You won't want to miss that. That's a really good deal. Okay, what are we gonna do for our next project? Let me pull this to the side, and what I'm gonna do is pull my camera back down. I have some odds and ends that I don't really know what to do with, but I thought, you know what, I have now some scraps of this capture chain that I just cut, so why not do something with it? But I thought I could make a really quick pair of earrings maybe, as I mentioned earlier from my sketch, and I had some boho beads and roses that I was also obsessing over, so maybe we just bring those out. So my table is yet again a little nuts. Let me clean some of this up and get this out of the way. Kristen says, that's so lovely, thank you. I love how that necklace turned out. The SilverSilk is pretty on its own. I was telling people earlier that I was just salivating over it. The dark rose, which is this color, it's the newest. It's never been on SilverSilk's history of colors. But I'm obsessed over it. It's a color that I would actually wear too, because it is very, I feel, androgynous, and you know, it could go any gender, just depending on how you wear it or what colors you pair it with. In this case, it was a great, you know, darker color to bring out with that rose. And to work against the brighter copper chains there. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah. I need to quit obsessing over dark rose and make some designs for you guys. It's very easy for me to get sidetracked. Here we go. Okay, I have some Jesse James boho beads. I love these. I think I actually have these in different colors too. This one just happened to be on a strand. But I was looking at my color combination for tonight and thought, man, that's just super gorgeous. So why not do something with it? What we're gonna do, I don't really know. But I know that I could definitely wire wrap this rose on this other strand. And sometimes with Jesse James beads, like they do such a killer job with strands that I love mixing and matching my beads, you know, different strands across the board, just because they work so well together, and I think it just brings out more creativity in me personally. So just scooting those beads off to the side here, give myself some space to work with. So I really loved that wire wrap rose technique that we just did not too long ago. And so if I'm looking at this design, I'm kind of thinking, man, wouldn't it be great to like make this as a set? So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab some of these are my pewter double strand end caps. These are, I don't know if there's a good word to say it, but they're really crappy. I took these off the website just because they were really bad. I don't like the way they look, and I don't like how they scratch off pretty easily. And so I was like, my customers are not gonna love this. I use them just for product demonstration purposes. They work the same as my really good end caps, which I have actually right here. Oh, there we go. I'm not using these because I want to sell them to you guys because they're a lot better. But the color is essentially, and the function is the same. It's just, these are just not good quality ones. But the ones that are in the packaging are. And so I'm going to use those today, and then I thought that I could do a swift pair of earrings using the same wire wrapping technique that we did here, and with the 18 gauge antique copper wire from Softflex company. Kristen, I don't know if you're still on or not, but I don't know if you posted the link to the craft wire, or Sarah, if you're available. That would be awesome, because I definitely want my folks and friends here to know where I got some of these awesome materials, including, actually, I don't know if you posted earlier, but the bell making pliers, which I'm using in today's video, because that's also super handy. Hey, Wanda. She says that trio is fabulous, and I gotta agree, I'm in love with my trios. I need to make more knitted wire, but currently waiting on some shipment of ball chain to come in before I could start heavier production. I was able to get quite a few colors made though with what I had though. I was very proud of myself. Okay, I just made a simple loop. This time I didn't do a wire wrap loop because I'm doing an earring, and the earring that I'm doing doesn't require any sort of support or structure in the sense that this is going to be supporting weight. So I think a simple loop will do instead of a wire wrap loop. So what I did was a 4mm one, and then I'm just gonna bring that down. What it's doing right now, as you can see with these roses, because of the texture that it has around it, it's not going to sit as, well, it might. I guess it just depends, I suppose. Like, you can see it kind of rests right there, and that's not what I want it to do. I want to create a little bit of a gap between the rose and where the wire loop starts. I want to talk like Scooby-Doo here. So I'm going to string on a bead, actually, just to give myself a little bit of space. Earlier, when we did a wire-wrapped loop, it did give me that space that I needed because it was a wrap loop. In this case, since I'm not doing that, you could just use a bead. And then string on your rose. There we go. That is giving me just enough clearance to be able to wrap correctly. And then go ahead and string another little crystal on. Oh, thanks, Kristen. Looks like you posted the link to those pliers, which is super helpful for everyone here. Okay, and then we'll go back down. I think this was 4. Let me double check. Oh, yeah. Okay. On this side, I'm actually not going to trim it, but I'm going to start the beginnings of a wire wrapped loop, but then use the extra part of the wire, excuse me, to wrap around the rose. There we go. Simply break that neck, go back in, fix this. Looks like my neck needs to be just a little bit more to the side here. There we go. I want to make sure that my loops are facing the same direction as they are right here. And then now I will go back and start to create my wraps and start to stabilize that rose. Ooh, there we go. Very easy to do at this point. Again, I just love the texture that it's creating. It's super easy to do. And it's just a super fast component. Like, I made that in seconds practically. So now what I can do is the same thing here. I'm just gonna end my wire by making a smaller loop and then attaching that loop to my larger loop. So I'll just do a little quick P shape there, loop, and then open it up. Maybe I might need to. Let's see. There we go. It's a little tricky whenever you're trying to get that positioning. So I just connected it there. So now I'll just kind of press it down, make sure that the loop just kind of blends in with the wire, as you can see. And then if you want to, you can definitely continue to play with this while it's already wrapped and, you know, just form the loops however you want, but that looks really good to me. So now what I'll do is configure my earring. I really love this dark rose color, and I think this will be a really good addition. But I kind of want a shoulder duster earring, a really long one, something that's going to be a statement. So what I can do is, let's go ahead and connect all of this together. I want to do a smaller loop for my earring. And this is probably about, actually, no, oh yeah, here it is. Okay. It's like I knew I had a ruler here somewhere. I'm working with 2.5 inches, so we'll make that official for both earrings. Sylvia says, I love that wrap background. Me too. It worked out a lot better than I remember from when I last did a long time ago. But I love this so much more. Cool. Okay, and then again, if you need to open the end cap, just take a pair of chain nose pliers. These are the tweezer chain nose pliers from Zuron. You can get those practically anywhere from Amazon, I think, even if you're an Amazon addict like I am. Looks like I got a little bit of ball chain sticking out, so I'm just going to trim that off. All right. So just a dainty little loop. Nothing too crazy. I think the earring will do quite well on its own without having too much space between the elements. So then I just crimp it down and kind of spread out my wire, make sure that the loop is nice and round as I can get it. And then what I'll do is connect my earring to that with my component to my earring, along with a little jump ring. Sarah says, I love these colors. Dark rose, so pretty. Is that the new color? Is that a new color? Yes, it is a new color that I made with my very own 2 hands, with the machine that I now own. And what a joy it's been. It's still unreal. I'm so just, I don't know, just so happy, I think, now that I have full creative control over it. Nothing has brought me more joy than that, I think, lately. So that's been awesome. And especially in a time of this pandemic happening and all this other stuff, it's nice to be able to have an excuse to stay at home and be like, okay, I'm going to be creative and, you know, make something that makes other people happy. And to me, that brings me pure joy. Okay, so I was looking for a tassel, and this, whatever I brought out today is very limited, so we're gonna work with this. But I kind of like this cute little tassel. Again, it's just shoulder duster earrings, and so I wanted to mix up a bunch of textures. So we got like a little bit of SilverSilk, we got some wire work, we got a really great boho bead from Jesse James Beads, and then all of this is brought together with the soft flex wire. So we have some really fun stuff working together. And what I wanted to do was grab my spool, there it is, and make a couple simple loops here real quick. Let's see, I guess I could use my bell making pliers to do some simple loops. We'll just do a couple small ones. I just use the 2mm end here to give myself a nice round P-shaped loop. Break the neck. If you need to always go back in and fix it, that's always a good thing. We're just looking for really good attention to detail, so that looks really good to me. And I'll do the same to the other side. What I'll do for some of these smaller beads and stuff, I just tend to trim off like a 1/2 inch and kind of work from there. If it's too big, I can always trim it back a little bit, but in this case, I think it worked out pretty well. So yeah, the 1/2 inch with the 2mm end for these pliers seems to be a pretty good formula. And then what I want to do is make sure that my loops are facing the same direction. So you can see I just flipped it around, and then I'm just going to attach my earring together. I really attach my beads together to make an earring. M says he has made some new purples, and I am jazzed. So I take it purple is probably one of your favorite colors, M, which is exciting for me because I love purple as well. And I've actually got another color in production called Plum, and it's a darker color that's going to be on silver colored ball chain. Again, I'm just waiting for ball chain to come in. That way I can do heavier production. So it's just a little bit of a waiting game for me as well right now. And that's just, due to shipments and stuff kind of being a little bit slower because of COVID. So let me go ahead and finish this other earring while you got you guys on here. Let's see. Let me do that. That looks really good. Stick it in my end cap. Go ahead and give it a good pinch. Spread it out if you need to. And then now I can do my quick little wire wrap loop. I'm going to go a little bit faster this time because you guys have seen me do it a couple times now. So I don't think it requires too much instructions, but I'll do my best to make sure it's all maintained on camera. I'm just going to do a quick little simple loop. Break the neck. Sometimes I gotta straighten out the wire before I work with it. There we go. Once the neck is nice and symmetrical there, I can string it through my rose bead and pretty much do the same thing to the other side. Now, remember what I said earlier about having a bead before and after to make sure that I have enough room to do the wire wrapping? That is something that I need to do, but I'm actually looking through some of my beads to find something similar. There we go, there's one. And here's another. Whew. Really important step there that I almost missed, but I caught myself. Ooh, that would be really nice. Kristen says dark rose, plum, and purple. I can't wait to see what that looks like. That'll be really cool. Yeah, I'm like, it's kind of like alchemy, right? Because like I have all these different colors of ball chain, and I'm wanting to get even more colors, actually. Some that are enameled in different colors, like green and, pink and stuff. But this isn't fitting, so this is a little bit, I think it's because my wire's bent, which I'm going to take my chain nose pliers. But anyway, I'd like to get some of those other colors in for my kits. And speaking of, be sure to save the date for the end of August for my next kit. Originally, I wasn't going to do one, but now I am, because I got really excited about making capture chain. And in with the color River, which is new as well. I've got two other colors that are new that I'm not going to include on the website because they're a limited run. Those will be included in the kit. I'll have a total of 50 kits to start with, and I'll set that up on the website later on, a little bit later this month. Give myself a little bit of breathing room before releasing another kit and what I call a bead tour. Spending the entire month making stuff, which is really cool. I think this crystal is a little bit small, so let me fish through here to find another substitute. I saw one there. I'm also trying to read the comments. I'm not much of a pink girl, says M. I'm not either. I'm not a really pink kind of person. So, but tonight I was feeling on some soft pinks, Oh my gosh, you guys, I almost strung the wrong thing. Good gosh. Although, I guess you could wrap those other beads in a fun, messy wrap. I didn't think about it, but yeah, no, I'm going to stick with the rose tonight. So that happens. I trail off and then go to do something else, and of course, Okay. Perfect. I am loving these long shoulder duster earrings. I don't make a whole lot of those, but tonight was a night. All right. Once I get my loops all established, what I can do is work my wire around and begin to wrap. You could even wrap the underside of this because it's gonna ultimately end up showing up the same. And then maybe do a couple on top. Make sure to do a couple of tight ones just because it'll help the rose stabilize and not move. Otherwise you'll have that problem of the rose kind of twisting and turning as you wear it. So a couple of wire wrap loops that are tight around the rose would be ideal. Once you kind of hit a spot that's good, which that looks really good to me, I'm going to go ahead and make a little loop here at the end that I can wrap in. Now what you could also, actually, no, that's not gonna work, never mind. I was gonna do something and then I thought that that was a bad idea, so we're not gonna do it. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna connect that into that loop. You can kind of tug on that wire to get that loop down, and then it just practically disappears, as you can see. Looks really good. And now I can connect this all together. You could even go crazy and do something asymmetrical, because that's kind of what's been in style lately. I don't know if I've got another tassel, you guys, so not on hand, at least. Oh, you know what? I have these from Living Coral, and I don't know if that'll look as cool, but I can try and see if that would work better. I kind of just grabbed some beads that were at my, in my stash that I've had with JJB for a while. I didn't know what to do. Actually, that's kind of cute. I like that. Yeah, let me go ahead and switch this one out just so I'm symmetrical here. Although I do love the gold with it too, so it's just up to you guys. In this case, I'm trying to just make sure that I have a cohesive design while I'm working with stuff at my table. So we're going with pink. Okay, so yeah, I'll just need to attach this to this. And then attach my boho bead there at the top because I want to do something asymmetrical. So that'll be really easy to do. Just need some extra wire. Oh, I have some right here. I'm just going to use up my scraps. It's a scrap kind of day. I have a lot of scraps on my table at the moment that I could use up for other projects. Oh, Joan is crazy for those floral tassels. From JJB. I do love them too. They are super cute and very florally, as you mentioned, and adds a lot of great texture to a design. Okay, so I'll do that, and then I am gonna trim this back again a 1/2 inch. Will give you plenty enough to work with if you're making a 2mm loop. You can see that worked out really well. You can trim it if you have a bigger space than what I had. Mine just tend to work out, this time around at least, pretty well. So, you know what I just now thought of though? Oh, actually, I've got a jump ring. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I was like, how am I gonna connect that up there? And then I realized I have a jump ring. Losing my mind. Okay, so, and in this case, I think I might have to switch and turn this, excuse me, that was not coherent at all. I have to have, I guess, perpendicular facing simple loops because I need a loop here at the top to be able to connect my jump ring. So that way it all connects cohesively. Oh, M is asking what is the code for the end caps. Thank you, M. It is copper crystal at checkout. You must have 3 capture chains, kind of like the ones I'm using tonight, or you can have $35 in your cart and the copper crystal end cap code, that's a lot of C's, will work. www.silversilkonline.com. Okay. Yay! I love this set, you guys. It's different, it's cool, it all works together very cohesively. I didn't get around to a bracelet, although I guess I could have made one. But at this point, I'm kind of just digging the necklace and earrings, really. Okay, I'm just gonna attach these guys on because we can't have earrings without hooks, right? That would have been too easy. Okay, so I'm just gonna attach my earring hook. I'm having way too much fun with like myself tonight. It's ridiculous. And it's only a Tuesday. I have the rest of the week to entertain myself. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is facing backwards. So I like to have my logo facing up when the earring is worn. So what that means is that if the earring hook is out here on the back, the logo side is up. And there's not one on the back, unfortunately, so gotta get it in just right. All right. I love this. It's so cute. It's so easy to make. I'm still on the fence about those pink tassels in this design. Excuse me. Normally, I do love the pink tassels, but if I'm looking this as a full set, I think I want something a little bit more coppery down here, personally. But I'll leave that designing up to you guys. What I'm gonna do for now is call this a design, and I'm gonna take a photo of it and post it to our fabulous, ever-growing, amazing group of people known as the SilverSilk Silkies. It is a group on Facebook. So if you go to facebook.com and type in the search SilverSilk Silkies, you can definitely become a member. And we have now a beautiful committee of one person so far. That would be Teresa. But it's gonna grow, I think, over time. Once I have a little bit more social media presence and stuff, that you'll get a welcome message from her, and of course the Silkies as well, and you'll get to see all kinds of things that we do on there. It's so much fun. But I'm gonna turn the camera around. And I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's design. Let me see if I can grab my little neck form here and take some of this stuff off and show you how this necklace works real quick as I'm reading these comments. Thanks, Mimi. Dark rose is amazing. I'm in love with the dark rose. I think it's gonna be a standout color for fall. I can't wait to see it mixed in with turquoise. You saw that I had the turquoise out on my table, but I didn't do anything with it tonight, but save it for future tutorials. Now look at this. Let me just straighten this out. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, right? Just on its own. This is hard to explain when it's flat on the table, but I really did want to make something that was super asymmetrical. It's just a beautiful little rose out here to the side. So grab the Jesse James Beads roses, grab some Soft Flicks 18 gauge wire. Don't forget to buy the 3 chains to get the end caps for free, and create this design with your favorite color combination. And of course the earrings match really well. So I got a full set tonight. I love it. I can't wait to do more with it. I have so many ideas with just the different colors that were offered, or now that I'm offering. Wow, guys, it's been an evening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I know I had a lot of fun. I got to laugh quite a bit. my own comments. Hey, Rosanna. I don't think I got to say hi to you earlier. Hey, Nancy. Gia, it's good to see you. Well, I guess until next time. I don't know what I'll do next week, but I'm sure I'll come back with another project and some more colors. And, oh, Donna's asking what gauge head pins am I using. I actually didn't use any head pins tonight, but the wire that I used was 18 gauge antique copper wire. I'm sorry that's reversed from Softflex. So definitely will want to look into that and check it out. Tuesday Toots, every Tuesday, 5:30 in the evening Central Time. I will catch you again here soon. I'm going to get back to my knitting over the week and the weekend and bring you guys some more stuff to play with. All right, I love all of you very, very, very much. And thank you so much for posting to the Silkies group. I can't even talk tonight. Thank you so much for posting to the Silkies group. I really appreciate you guys in your interactivity, the pictures that you post, the inspiration that you provide me. If you have any questions or want to see projects that you want me to do, definitely just message me on there. You can also go to my website, www.silversilkonline.com, or message me at orders@silversilkonline.com. I read all the comments and I talk to all my customers, so definitely hit me up there. All right, good night. I'll catch you guys again soon.